Hey everybody, it's Christina and welcome back to Chrissy's Corner. So this video is very impromptu. I did not do a whole lot of just like note making, and so this is gonna kind of be all over the place, but it's something I'm very excited and very passionate about. As you can see from the title, these are our how we hack our Disney World trips. There are so many videos and helpful tips and tricks out there with all these awesome hacks and secrets and things that you just might not know on your first trip or your even second, third trip, and learning more, and which is basically the situation that we are in. And there's so many. Oh my gosh, there are so many. These are just our tops, the things that we tend to do that are tried and true, that have worked for us. And there may even be a couple on my list that I jotted down that we're hoping to do on our upcoming trip to kind of see, how did it work. So once again, this is very quick, very impromptu. So this list is not organized, you guys. I apologize. It is all over the place. So it's gonna bounce between food hacks and park hacks and just general trip hacks and all that kind of stuff. And granted, yes, there are gonna be so many on here that you're like, Christina, you forgot one of the most important ones. But I didn't want it to be like, an hour-long video. So anyways, if you have any questions about any of these hacks or tips that I mentioned, please put them in the comments below. I'll be more than glad to, to answer any questions. And of course, if you have some that I didn't list that you think I might not know about, please share them. Please. We have another trip coming up in a few months and I'm always out for new hacks. Okay, excuse me guys. Okay, hack number 1. And once again, remember you guys, this is literally not in any type of an order. Hack number 1, I jotted down. I call the hand towel for your rides. Okay, sounds crazy. We go in the off season, which most of the water rides and the water parks are all closed. That's just not really our jam. But we do ride water rides. Of course, you can't go and not ride Splash Mountain, all that kind of good stuff. So inevitably, you get there, your log is there, you're ready to get up and sit down, and there's water in the seat because people step in and out and in and out, and you get splashed. You're gonna get wet. It's Splash Mountain. So on our honeymoon trip, I had gone to my local dollar store and gotten one of those little expandable fun towels like for kids, and they were all Disney themed. This is just an example of about the size. It's the size of a hand rag, and I kept this in my park bag. You guys, this was a lifesaver. Okay, it doesn't take up a lot of room, it's not overly bulky, and as we're standing in the queue right before it's our turn, I yanked my bag around, grabbed it out, so I was ready. And sometimes I just laid it down and sat on it. If I had a couple extra seconds, when you're loading, it's kind of all fast and furious, I wiped it down. My husband did the exact same thing, and I really think it saved us from walking around the park with wet pants. And we do go in the off season, so it is much cooler, so we're wearing sweatpants and we're wearing tights and yoga pants, and gross if you get your seat wet. So as weird as it sounds, take just a rag, a hand rag with you. You can always throw it away if it gets gross and grungy, but like I said, get it at the dollar store. You just never really know if something's going to be wet more than just wiping the water off, and you actually want to towel it off. So carry a little hand towel in your bag for those wet rides that you don't want to sit into. It's just gonna be gross. It'll save you some frustration, guys. Okay, number 2. Wow, these really are over the place. Use your snack credits as meals. Now, this of course only applies if you are on one of the Disney dining plans. There are 3 levels. There's your quick service, your standard Disney dining, and your deluxe. We have done the quick service and the standard. This next time we are trying the deluxe, so I'm sure afterwards I will do a big long video about my review of each one. But for now, when we were on the quick service and the standard, I learned very quickly when you're planning out your restaurants and where you're going to eat and all your meals and your breakfast and your lunch and your dinner, if you're trying to stretch those quick service credits out for actual meals that you want at specific locations, use your snack credit as a meal. For example, what's a good, Flame Tree Barbecue. Wait, no, was it in Flame Tree? Oh my gosh, you guys, see, I didn't do my research. Okay, anyway, in Animal Kingdom, where you get the awesome pulled pork plastic cheese fries, for me, that was a meal, and that was a snack credit. So I could kind of write off lunch in my notes as to using a snack credit somewhere. I think all the loaded mac and cheeses are also snack credits. Come on, you guys, that's a meal. So use your quick service credit if there's a specific restaurant you want to go to that qualifies under the quick service, and take a snack use it in place as that meal credit. So it kind of just stretches it. And be smart with those snack credits, because a lot of snacks in the park, both for breakfast and lunch, can constitute as a meal. They really are big enough if you pick the right ones and you know where to go. Excuse me. And I know many of you guys out there know that their snacks sometimes are massive, are definitely shareable, but you know, if you're not sharing, that's definitely a meal. So stretch out, use those snack credits as meals when trying to get the most out of your quick service credits if you're on the dining plan. Now, the very next hack I have totally negates what I just said, and I will explain. The next one is not using any snack credits at all. I know that sounds crazy, and you're looking at me going, you are out of your mind, because Disney rocks when it comes to snacks. No one does it better. Sorry, you guys. Oh no. Sorry, y'all. Okay, so snacks, that's like what Disney's all about, and everyone loves them. But the last trip my husband and I went on, we ended up having quite a few leftover snack credits at the end of the trip. I will tell you, we absolutely loved going over to Disney Springs, going into Goofy's Candy Company, and loading up on snacks to bring home. So if you are on a dining plan and your meal credits have worked out great and you've been able to, you know, eat on the cheap for some other aspects, and you just haven't gotten into your snack credit pile, take those, go to a Goofy's Candy Company, go anywhere else, get you some stash snacks to bring home, because I promise you, you're only going to be home for about a day or two before you're missing Disney and want to go back. And for us, what I did was I stashed most of the bags away and let us have one bag kind of at a time every couple of months. And it helped. It was so nice being able to pull out a bag of Goofy's Candy Company candy, you know, that we didn't pay for out of pocket. Sorry guys, I'm having camera issues here. So anyways, I have seen a lot of people do this, and I have done my research on this one. I fully intend to bring home quite a few Rice Krispie treats, maybe even some cookies, and the bag candy. I'm gonna freeze a bunch of those baked goods. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I read that it does pretty well. Can you imagine you're home from your trip for like a couple of months and you were just like dying for a Disney Rice Krispie treat, and there's one in your freezer from your last trip? I mean, how awesome would that be? So anyways, one of my other hacks is don't use any of your snack credits, or only use a couple. Take them, go somewhere, get a stash of snacks that you can travel with, that you could take home, and either freeze some of those fresh baked goods, or just keep you a stash in a cabinet somewhere where you have all your bagged candy from your favorite confectionery shop or candy company or whatever it might be. So that's another hack that we've done, that we will be doing on our next trip as well. Okay, so the next one is most expensive meal option. Okay, if you are on the dining plans, you already know, unless you have like kiddos or something, when you go to a quick service or a table service, you know, if you have a choice of like a very high dollar chicken pasta shrimp dish, or, you know, a burger and fries, get the high dollar shrimp, guys. This has been a prepaid meal. You've already prepaid for all of this. So it does not matter. You don't get anything back, and it doesn't give you any type of a discount if you eat the cheapest thing on the menu or the most expensive thing on the menu. So it might go without saying, but some people don't quite realize, if you are on that dining plan, doesn't matter if you're at a quick service place or a table service, especially your table service, guys, get that swordfish, get that filet mignon, get that $50 steak. You're going to need to make the most out of the money you spent on that dining plan. So when you open up that menu, look at the top dollar items. Look, I mean, I'm telling you, splurge, go crazy, because remember, you've already paid for this now. So if you spend the whole time eating $12 burgers and chicken nuggets, you will probably not have gotten your maximum financial, you know, benefit out of that particular meal plan. So always be on the lookout for the most expensive thing on the menu if you are on the dining plans. That's just one of my suggestions to you guys, and it may be totally duh, but you know, one of those things you just don't think about sometimes when you're sitting down and you're starving and you're ready to eat. Okay, this one kind of qualifies as a ride hack. Use your early pre-park meal reservations to ride rides without fast passes. Now, if you're not real familiar with what that means, like real quick, you can make breakfast, lunch, or I should say just breakfast reservations in some of the parks to be there before the park opens. There is a separate line and a separate security check system that you will go through about an hour before park is actually opening. So you'll see all these folks that are waiting for 9 o'clock, but you're getting in at about 7:45. You will be, you go straight to your restaurant, you get all checked in, you have your awesome nice breakfast, and 9 times out of 10, depending on how long your meal actually took, when you leave the restaurant, I'm not gonna say the park is empty, but it is definitely not at full capacity. It is definitely not packed. And if your breakfast just went boom, 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 you might technically be out in that park before they have opened the big gates. So take advantage of that. Go straight to a ride that you really wanted to ride more than once. Or maybe you just didn't get a fast pass for something and you kind of forgot about it. Go straight to that ride, get on it. I promise you probably won't have to wait long at all. And then use your fast passes for later in the day when there are crowds. So please keep in mind, if you have made those early breakfast reservations and you have done the work and you are up and early and you are there, take advantage of that as soon as you leave that restaurant to get some good photos in. Go by the photo pass people. If there's less folks walking back behind, it makes for so much better pictures. So I actually kind of consider this a ride hack because you can get a ride out of this, maybe 2, where you have to wait very little, or you might even could walk on. That happened with my husband and I. We went to Cinderella's Royal Table a few years back. We left, went straight to Splash Mountain, walked on. We were the absolutely only ones in the ride, and so our ride photo pass was just me and him in the front, and it was so much fun. I cannot stress how much fun that was. So take that into consideration. If you know you have some early in-park breakfast reservations and you're struggling with trying to figure out your fast passes, kind of have that as your ace in the hole, you know, that you might could squeeze a ride out of that after you are done and not have to use your fast passes until you absolutely have to. Because I like to ride the rides more than once. I really do, you know. So anyways, that's another one of our hacks. If you're already going to be in the park for an early morning, take advantage of that. Hop on a ride after you're done. Another hack that we always do is we always travel in the off season. Now this is not a hack, but a lot of people may not realize how beneficial it could be to their planning. Granted, we don't have children, so this is just for you folks out there that don't have any kiddos and you don't have to deal with school schedules and all that kind of stuff. We go in January and or February. We have had wonderful luck with the temperatures, the crowd levels, and the prices. It is considered off season, so the prices are lower. The crowd levels are low to medium, and the temperatures are amazing. Yes, it will sprinkle and drizzle and rain and come in and come out, but we've just learned to roll with that. It just happens. It's Florida. It usually doesn't stay for very long. But with the temps being high of 72 and low, sometimes high 40s, 50s, that is prime park weather if you ask me. You're in a t-shirt during the day, and at night you put on that hoodie and you're good to go. It's wonderful. So for very many reasons, we love the off season. We particularly don't really care about the water parks. So that works out for us because the water parks are closed in the off season, as well as some of the other attractions for ride refurbishments. We've never had a problem not getting on a ride that we really wanted to ride during this season. It may happen, but for the most part, all the big ticket rides are the ones that we do enjoy that are open year round. So it's not really a hack, but it is a tip. We do go off season every time. We will probably never ever go during what's considered an in season in Disney. Okay, another one, gift card collection. This is also nothing new, but if you are a new planner and you have planned your trip way out and you have time, get those Disney gift cards. Get them at the grocery store, stash them away. You just never know, for your souvenirs, for all that. It's so great to have those in your hand. That's kind of your cash in a sense. And what we do is we use those for souvenirs and any other OOP, out-of-pocket expenses. And the kind of rule of thumb is when they're gone, they're just gone. Now the beauty of planning this early is you can kind of easily work it into your budget. I will work one Disney gift card into my grocery list, and I grocery shop about once or twice a week. So it doesn't sound like much, but when your trip is 8-9 months out, you do the math. It adds up pretty quickly. And then you got a nice little stash for souvenirs that's already, in a sense, prepaid, I guess. Also, along with the gift card thing, take advantage of any birthdays and Christmases that happen between now and your trip. And the reason I say that is because birthdays and Christmases are great times to ask friends and family and loved ones for Disney gift cards for Christmas. It will be easy for them to do, and you legitimately will be super excited to have Disney gift cards as a gift for your upcoming trip. And what I have also found is fun is after you take those gift cards to the parks and you buy souvenirs, I always message the folks that gave me the cards, hey, just want you to know I got this awesome souvenir and I'm so excited. Thank you so much for the gift card. You know, you helped me get this and, you know, create this memory. I know people are funny about giving gift cards around the holidays, but I'm telling you, Disney is the exception because you want those souvenirs, you want to do that, but that's all out of your own pocket. So I take advantage of holidays and birthdays that fall between now and when our trip comes, and that's what I ask for. Another little tip of what I do at Christmas, since Christmas is always right before our trip, my mom likes to fill our stockings every year, so I give her a list of all of our travel toiletry park bag items that we need, and she puts those in our stocking. I know it doesn't sound like much fun, but it really is. I mean, the chapsticks and the hand sanitizers and all that stuff and rain ponchos, all that stuff that we need, I give her a list and she stashes our stockings. So our stockings are full of all of our toiletries and our park bag items, and it's just one less thing that we had to buy. So I'm telling you guys, take advantage, even tell your kiddos, if there's something that you know they're going to want on that trip, have them ask for it early, maybe keep it for them, or you know, whatever. So stash those gift cards, do it early, start working it into the budget as soon as you can. Let's see, what's another one? Okay, this one, a lot of people are going to be like, there's just no need for that. Confirmation cards. I usually take one like index card that has all of our confirmation numbers handwritten on it, from our resort confirmation number to all of our dining confirmations, anything like that. Yes, we have them in multiple other forms. We have them on the My Disney Experience app that we have on our phone. You know, everything is linked to your Magic Band. But you just never know, guys. You just never know. If your phone has just died, your Magic Band is acting glitchy, which we have had before. We've had our Magic Bands act a little glitchy before. You just never know, okay? And there's so many confirmation numbers, you're not gonna be able to recall them all. So granted, I've never had to use that card, but I had such peace of mind knowing that I had one little piece of paper that had all my confirmation numbers, at least for the big things that we needed, just in case. Just in case. Have it as a backup. Even if you just, I don't know how you want to do it, but some people feel like that's just excess. I like having it. It just makes you feel a little bit better. Okay, this isn't really a hack, but it is a little tip. If you purchase a souvenir or an item in the Disney parks and it breaks or doesn't work, if you have your receipt, go right back to the vendor or the location. They usually will replace it. And I say usually because I'm sure there are some type of rules to that. But also wanted to tell you, if you purchase something at Disney Springs and something happens like that day, go back, because I purchased a Haunted Mansion coffee mug and I was so excited to get it, and it was in the bag, and I went into the bathroom and I hung the bag on the little hook, and the hook was loose, and so the whole bag fell to the ground. And even though they had wrapped this mug very, very well, the handle broke completely off of it. I was so sad because I was so excited about this mug. And so my husband said, babe, we just walked out of World of Disney, just go back in and explain what happened. Maybe they'll just give you a discount or something. And so I went in and sure enough, I showed it to him. I told him where I was and the receipt. She just handed me another one. Now, of course, I can't guarantee that would happen, but for the most part, they know you were just in there. They know you didn't intentionally just go out and do that if all you want is a replacement. So just a little tip, if you get a toy or something for your kiddo and it just like breaks immediately, which I know with some of the Disney stuff it can, go back in and talk to the folks, show them your receipt. You know, cast members, they're there to try to make your trip as magical as possible. So that's just another one. You know, don't just walk away thinking you ruined your money and have a broken souvenir, because that would be sad. Okay, here's another, I don't know if you want to call it a hack, guys, but it's something that I have not heard anyone talk about, and I would love to hear some of your suggestions. It is use your queue time wisely. Now, you all know queue time. If you are familiar at all or ever been, queues are the nice, long, decorated, themed out lines that you're going to wait in for your rides and or attractions. Now, a lot of the times, if you're lucky and you're going through your Fast Pass, you see the queue, but sometimes only partially, and you're moving pretty quickly. There's not a whole lot of just stand and look around time. But if there are any rides at all that you don't have a Fast Pass for, you're going to hang out in that queue. It's just going to happen. The cool part is Disney is top notch when it comes to theming out a queue, down to the smells that they pipe out of the pipes. Pirates of the Caribbean ride smells exactly like ocean water. It is crazy. It's all salty and sea air smelling. But that's just the beauty of the Disney Imagineers. So basically, I was like, people don't really talk about what to do during that queue. Everyone doesn't like to wait, but it's what you got to do. And the queues are really neat. So be sure and look around. Take advantage of all that. Take some photos of these queues. If you're kind of at a standstill moment and it's a good opportunity, take a selfie. Take a picture with you and yourself and your friends all with you. But disclaimer to this, to all you people out there, please be mindful. If the line starts to move and people in front of you, please be mindful of that. Stay close and move forward, because you will have some frustrated people behind you because you're sitting there taking too many pictures and there's 10 people worth of space. So yes, take advantage of that queue time. Look around, take photos, have fun, but be mindful. Also, while I'm in the queue, I kind of like to, I don't know what the good word is, freshen up, you guys. I take that opportunity to dig around in my bag. I get out my hand sanitizer, my spritzers, and my body wipes and just wipe my neck and my face down. Sometimes refix my hair. You're touching so many surfaces that are probably just covered in germs. So it's always a good habit anytime you can, even before or after a ride. So I kind of take that time to just sort of rejuvenate, I guess. We always have a bottle of water with us, so good time sipping that water, stay hydrated. Take those pictures, take time to clean your hands, kind of just refresh a little bit, because usually the pace is not all that fast in the queue line. If it is fast, awesome. But one other thing I do right before it's time for us to board into our ride vehicle is I figure out what I'm going to do with my ears. Ladies, listen up, okay? If you know that this particular ride you're about to go on is probably going to knock the ears right off your head, take them off while you're in the queue and put them in your bag. I know it's not as fun because you're not wearing them in the picture, but I'm telling you, this last trip, I risked it a couple of times and I wish I wouldn't have, because a lot of my ride photos consist of me doing this and this, because I knew some of the drops were just the air force was just gonna push them off my head. So when you're in that queue, pop your ears off, put them in your bag, maybe even refix your hair or even do your ponytail if you know, especially you're on a water ride and you want that hair back. And then when you get out, pop them back on. That's just a suggestion. I guess it's not really a hack, but it is something I've learned to do while I'm in the queue. So keep in mind, now we're dealing with the ears, and being in the queue is also the time right before it's your time to get onto a ride is to get that rag out I mentioned before to mop down the seat. So let's see. What else, guys? I have so many, but I guess those are just a few of our really, really big ones. Oh, my husband had a very good one, very, very good one. He suggested he loves to ride the boat from some of the resorts to Disney Springs. And if you aren't familiar, there are very select few resorts in Disney World that have boat transportation to and from Disney Springs only, not into the parks. And we have been to one of the resorts that does. We went to Port Orleans Riverside. And there's something about that boat ride. It is so much fun to go to Disney Springs, shop and eat and see the entertainment, and then come back on the boat to your resort. It is a lot of fun. The beauty of this is you do not have to be staying at that resort to ride the boat or to eat there or what have you. So my husband always suggested, no matter where you're staying, make a plan to either eat somewhere in Disney Springs or eat at that particular resort. You could go to Boatwright's, which is in Port Orleans Riverside, and it is a really good kind of Cajun food restaurant. You could get to that resort, eat there, and then hop on the boat to go to Disney Springs, come back to the resort, and then head back to where your resort is. So yes, it is a lot of travel time, but I will give this to him. It is worth it. And if you don't have kiddos and you have that time to just be leisurely about it, it is a lot of fun. So take advantage, hop over to any of the one of resorts that do have this boat system, and take advantage of that. You don't have to be staying there, and it doesn't cost you anything. I mean, free transportation, right? I mean, I know Disney is great about free transportation, but sometimes you just don't want to take a bus everywhere. So my husband suggested take advantage of that boat ride. So guys, I know there are tons more that I have, but as far as for our trips, these are like our tops. I mean, just our tried and trues that we absolutely do each and every time. I have a couple that we're going to try this upcoming trip. And they kind of go in the same vein as having those early morning breakfast reservations. For example, this is how we are dealing with the new tier system change. of rides. You will see what I'm talking about. It's going to be all over Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, but just the internet. They're changing the tier system in Hollywood studios. Oop, my battery's dying. Granted, of course, due to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. I realize they have to do what they have to do. But anyway, here's a good example. We have early morning breakfast reservations. We're going to go do that, and then we're going to go straight to a ride. And then we have lunch reservations, and then we have fast passes. Then we're going back to our resort. That evening, I am hoping to come back and either do a fireworks dessert party, which maybe after we can sneak out as the fireworks are finishing and go get on a ride, or after hours magic. It is a ticketed event, but it's what it says. After the park is officially closed, you can pay for extra entrance to go and pretty much have access of most of the rides. I believe they even do free popcorn, bottled drinks, things of that nature, which sound like a lot of fun. So basically, I am including those extra reservations at the early and tail end of the day to kind of count for being able to ride rides without my fast passes. So we will see if that works, guys. I will definitely let you know after we're back from the trip. All right, guys, thank you so much for hanging with me. Oh my gosh, we're at 25 minutes. Keep in mind, here in the next couple weeks, I will hopefully have a part 1 of all the stuff that I have been purchasing and stashing for our upcoming trip. Usually I break it into 2 parts. I do one as I've got a big group of stuff, and then part 2 right before we leave. I have some really fun, cute things to show you for this trip. All right, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. If I have missed any major hacks, please put them in the comments below. Feel free to ask me any questions. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And as always, you know, have a magical day. Bye.